Hugging It. I am Molina Mike, and I am here from the house. I'm here back home in Texas. I'm joined by my main man, Michael Panozo via Las Vegas. Mike, how are you, buddy?
Good, good. Busy day over there. A lot of, there's two really great matches, really, intense matches.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. I mean, it started off with the semifinal that I think everybody has been looking for. I remember whenever I talked to Francisco, me and Joey did. I think it was after the World Nine Ball, before the World 10 Ball, and we asked him about Federer, and he said he was interested in playing him some. And then I had a chance to interview him right after his match with, was it Jesus, or I think it was after Jesus. And I said, if you can dream up anyone that you'd want to play in the final, who would it be? Of course, Clenty was not the answer. It was SVB or Federer. But we got the first part of it in Federer, in that semifinal matchup. And boy,
Right.
Mike, did that match deliver.
Yeah, it was great. It was not, a textbook match, especially the first half of it. I think they both missed some shots, played some bad safeties, numerous fouls. But it was that type of match. It was going to be a grind. It was going to be, you saw them breaking and all the balls lining up on one side of the table, and it was, you knew these racks were just going to be a slog to get through. Um, so it was made for a really entertaining match.
No, without a doubt. I mean, the moving part of it, I think anyone on earth would give the edge to Federer. But after Francisco's match with Alex, it seemed like he was ready for it. He was up for the challenge, as they say. I think it was, for me, it was probably one of the best matches that I've seen. Um, in the last few years, to be honest with you, just from a real dogfight, guys who were both
Yeah,
in it. Like
yeah,
it was, if you're gonna equate it to boxing, it went the full 12 rounds, right? Literally
yeah.
as it went, hill, and ended in the most epic of fashions, which we'll get to here in a minute. But yeah, no, it started off with, I think it was Francisco got off to a little bit of a lead, didn't he? Or was it Federer that got up to a 3-1 lead?
Uh, Federer got to a little bit of a lead. I don't know. Gosh, now you got me. Yeah, I think Francisco had the early lead, and then Federer caught up pretty quickly, and then Federer went
I
ahead
think you're right. Yeah.
7-4, and then 8-5. And then 8-5, I'm thinking, man, it's gonna be, you got to beat him 5-1 from here. Um, but France stayed in it and hung in there, and just kept chipping away one rack after the next.
Yeah.
It was great theater.
I mean, you couldn't have written it up any better. You really couldn't. You have two of the guys who've had the best years from a money standpoint and from an achievement standpoint. Battling it out at a semifinal of a world championship.
Yeah, no,
I'm
it was
I'm
great.
with you when Federer was up. Matt Boland says 7-4. When it's at that 8-5 range or whatever it was,
Right,
8-6, and
eight five.
um, I'm thinking he's done because there's no consistency in the break. So you got to
Right,
really hope to get lucky. And on top of that, you got to hope that the kid dogs it, which he just doesn't do. Right? Federer is the
right.
is the epitome of clutch in Q sports, at least in American pool. And he had this 5 ball on the side. I think it was to go up 9-7, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken. And you think, okay, he's got to force follow a little bit, but he's got angle. He can do it. Moments like this, you just don't see the kid um, you know, fall any, and then it just jawed and comes out
Yeah, it's
in really unfetter like fashion, Mike.
yeah. No, he hit it. He hit it pretty hard. To me, he hit it really hard. But still, I think most tables take that. This one kind of was in the pocket and then spit out, and that was the same rack that he jumped 3 balls in a row after that.
I mean, how sick was that, Mike? Seriously, how sick was that? Given the moment, given what you're fighting for,
It
you
was
know,
it was
one of
unbelievable.
them, one of them would have been unbelievable. It
Right,
was three, Mike, three.
three, three, and then the last one for him to scratch that way was just brutal. It was just
And he made it. He made the cross side.
yeah, yeah. He made the crossback and then scratched up in the corner, and you just didn't see that one coming. So yeah, that was just a crazy, crazy rack. He got huge applause after scratching, at the end of that rack.
Right.
Uh, it was just one of those things where it was just like, wow, that was really pretty cool. That was just, yeah, that was a tough one to swallow if you were, a Federer fan for sure.
I think if you're the Predator team, you couldn't have asked for a better semifinal, right? Or at least you would have wanted to have one of those two guys in the final, which we are. But um, it lived up to the hype, which is super hard to do, and then some.
Yeah,
Those two guys, like I mentioned earlier, are just the best players over the last year. I think everyone on the tour, and if you watch pool, follow pool, then you know that. Um, it was it was just incredible. Francisco showed his bottle, as they say. With some spots, he also showed spots where he was also humanized, and the same
yeah,
goes for Federer. I think both of them have a tremendous amount of respect for one another prior to this matchup, but I think even more so now. And one of the things that you can say when you knock either one of their achievements, if you want to, poke a hole in it, it's the fact that one of them hadn't been there, Mike, right? One of the guys has not been there for majority of the time, which is Federer, right? So even though Francisco's had all this consistency and success, it's without Federer being on the matchroom stage. Now I know Francisco won the World 8 Ball when Federer was there, but it was just this one was everything that we hoped it would be, and then some. And it was just unfortunate the way that it ended. But I love it as a guy who appreciates one pocket and loves the moving game, loves the back and forth. I really truly love the way that these two guys fought it out, and until the bitter end.
yeah. No, it was a real battle every rack, and it was just a lot of cat and mouse and a lot of dare and double dare and whatever, and that made for some really, really great intensity to the match. You could feel it in the arena, and it was
I mean, I,
packed.
I was at home and I'm feeling it. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
no,
I'm
it's
I'm I'm at home and I'm feeling the pressure. You can see them, with their facial expressions, and I've been fortunate enough to follow them, quite a bit and see them live. So there's certain like little things that you can pick up on from players, right? Where like they'll go dry their hands. You'll see, deep breaths, maybe off camera. You'll see, if in between racks, if they're closing their eyes and then they're just waiting for the crack and then they open the ball. You know what I mean? There's
yeah.
just certain little things that you can pick up on. I think both of them knew that the other one was really dangerous, and it was
Hopefully it
abs.
sets up. Hopefully it sets up some juicy matchups going forward, where these guys will be in the same tournaments a little more often, and get to see them cross cues, because that's what everybody had been really kind of looking for the past year,
Right.
and got it today, and they got it in spades. It was just what you would want that match to be.
Well, I mean, the irony is, given some of the snubs from Federer over the last year for whatever reason. What's the matter, baby? Sorry, I got my daughter here already. She's already wanted some camera time. Okay, tell her I'll talk to her in a minute. Um, and the one thing is that Federer's showing that he's box office and that he's the one to put the sport on the map. And if you look around that, in the last however many days that Vegas has been going on, and I noticed this the same way at the Derby. It's before people stood around to watch Sky and Shane. Those are the two marquee matchups that when you're in, if you go to a pool tournament here in the States, those are the guys that you can spot the crowd around them the
Right,
entire time. Mike Federer's got that same cachet now amongst fans.
right.
Federer's got that same, winning people over and execution that people want to see. He's a heavy fan favorite. I hope that Federer can handle these travel restrictions or whatever is causing him to, not be able to get out of the States sooner than later, because I want to see those two battle it out anytime, any day. I'm talking whatever game it is outside of one pocket. And
I don't really know how often they've matched up before in big tournaments. I mean, I can't recall, um, too many chances. So this was the first real heavyweight tilt for them that I can think of, and
I want to say they met up in the World 8 Ball. I'm pretty sure.
somewhere along the way, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they matched up in the World 8 Ball and Francisco got the better of it. But this one was just, I mean, it was a heavyweight fight, man. It was like
Well,
it was.
we got to talk about the last rack.
Well, okay, let's talk about it, Mike.
I mean, it was just a nuts rack. I mean, balls. There were clusters. There was no really
Well, that's
room.
what happens at Hill, right? This ain't your first
Of
rodeo, Mike,
course,
covering the sport for
of
the last
course. You
40
knew
years.
Federer was going to break. You knew he wasn't going to make a ball on the break. You knew it was going
Right.
to be a slog fest, and it was so intense. And then the back and forth, and then he fouls, um, and Francisco gets the ball in hand. There's still no real room to move, so he sets him up again. And better on the second foul, if you recall, that's when cue ball went around and clipped the 9 ball, and the 9 ball rolled all the way down the rail to the end rail and mezzled right up to the 10 ball, so that it wasn't there. You couldn't make the 9, and that's what made the final scratch, the final foul, so disappointing. Was that he made such a great jump and such a great kick to get that 4 ball, and then the the cue ball just, I don't know how it scratched. It was just ridiculous.
Well, I mean, he hit it too pure. You hit it so much on a line that it just stays on that line, like it doesn't go left or right. So he hit it
And
so full in that
it
face
rolled
with that
right
much,
into the corner pocket. It was
and then it
just
just drove and drove and drove, and you think that maybe there's a chance that it stays up, and then it's it swallows it whole, and you think there's no way it's supposed to end like this, because
because if
this
that cue
wasn't.
ball stays on the table at all, there's still a lot of work for both of those guys to do to get through that wreck. It wasn't going to be like if he left, Fran a shot at the 4.
I don't know that he would have been able to even see the ball. So,
yeah, it just even
know,
if he was able to see the 4 cleanly, there was still that 9-10, which was someone was gonna have to do some work there. So,
yeah,
so
I think part of what made it so great was just the tactical battle of it all, right? It
yeah,
was the fact that, the kicking, maybe you can give Fran a slight advantage. You can give Fran a slight advantage, but then once Federer starts doing Federer things and starts jumping the balls the way that he did, it really makes you think twice from what you're going to put out the next time, Mike. It's going to make you think twice from where you're going to leave them on the back end, because how surgical the kid is going to be with the short stick, right? And his execution, big spots aren't going to get the better of him. I I was rooting for both of them, Mike. Honestly, I was like a real fan, and I feel very fulfilled with that match. But at the same time, it's kind of bittersweet because I want to see Federer win one, but then we're about to witness a chance at pure history with
yeah.
Francisco going after that last notch on the belt in the 10 ball title.
Well, we have to talk about who's standing in his way, um, and that's Kachi. The Kachi filler match. Kachi was definitely the better player. Filler did not look all that great.
I thought Federer looked great. I thought through the first maybe 5 racks. Five
Yeah,
racks in, I thought Federer looked really
yeah.
sharp. I
When he
looked
was up,
sharper.
he was up 3-1, and was looking really strong. And then, boy, those middle parts of the match, he really didn't. He really missed a lot of shots, missed a lot of safes. It was. I thought Kachi definitely played better, um, but then that still came down to late. It was 9-8. Before Kachi finally put it away. But Kachi just he's
I
he
I
just
thought even
waits.
when it was 4-4, 5-4 Kachi, 5-5, I'm thinking, okay, Filler's still gonna run away with it. Like, okay, this is enough. We you made a good showing, Kachi, but this is where Filler does what Filler does. But he just didn't. And I,
No,
I remember I remember at spots early in this tournament where I thought Josh is back. Like, this
he
is the Josh. This was
steamrolled the tournament until today.
right. That's what I'm saying. Like, but when he pre Revo, we all know Josh's intimidation factor. Like, he didn't have that up until this event. But this event he did. This event he was the juggernaut. He was the guy who was going to bully you. It didn't matter who you were, whether it was size or stature. So that he was going to be the guy to just take over, and that's what I thought was going to happen. And it just didn't. And Kachi got the way better of it.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah,
So the finals is about to start, or at least it is started already, Mike. It looks like they're about to kick off. Let's just give our preview picks, and then we'll get the hell out of here.
um, I think, I talked to Kachi a couple minutes afterwards, and I said, of course, FSR is going to be the fan favorite in this because everybody knows he's going for it. And he said, yeah, it didn't bother him. He's going for his second world 10-ball title. So he was confident that he was going to have a good match. I'm rooting for FSR because I want to see this record. I want to see this mark set that I don't know, you know, if anyone will ever touch. I mean, it's going to be tough enough for people to have a career triple crown, much less a triple crown all at the same time. So you want to, you know, as a fan, you want to see that happen. But Kachi's Kachi. When he's in a late stage of tournament like this, he's such a grinder, and you just never feel safe against him.
Yeah. Boy, Kachi's playing with fire with that break. You know, he really is, and
He
I
is,
know that's what, and
you
I
know,
know that's what he leans on.
break from the
But
side, he wasn't making balls. Even at the end, he wasn't making a ball on a break.
no, well, no, he got it. He was getting some balls down. He had the 8 ball on the side. I think that was clutch at maybe 9-8, somewhere around there, or 8-8, or maybe it was 8-7 when the 2 ball goes and kicks the 8 ball in on the side. Um, he was having a little more consistency, whereas Fran wasn't, right? Fran was having to really dig deep and win in a lot of creative ways. Now, can Kachi do that? I don't know. I don't think so. You know, I think that from a tactical standpoint, I'm going to give the edge to Francisco, right? And you know, from a run out standpoint, that both of them are just as capable. Although when Fran gets a gear, I feel like he's more confident in that ability to get out. Where I think Kachi, as much as he can execute, but he can make you keep on watching because you know you think he's out, but just hold on a minute because he may get a little funky as the rack
Yeah,
progresses, Mike. You know, and from Francisco, it's rare, you know. And listen, I was there the year that Kachi won it. I know how much of a monster that he can be playing 10 ball. I know it. But that guy across from you, he's another kind of monster. You know,
yeah,
he's another kind of guy who is at the top of the hill right now in every game and in every way. I think it's going to be just a jam up final. Um, what
yeah,
my eyes tell me, you know, and I'm just looking at the break that you know if that Kachi's going to be the one, but I'm hoping for Francisco.
yeah. Me too. Me too.
All right, guys. Well, go check out Worldberry TV for the final. Me and Mike are going to get out of here. We appreciate everyone for tuning in, and thanks to all the sponsors who helped out for this past week. I'm sure we'll have a show tomorrow and just talk about the final and all that fun stuff. So, thanks to everyone who's been a part of the ride. It was a challenging week to say the least, but I enjoyed it, and I hope you guys did as well. So, until next time, you know, we'll see you guys later.